Yeah, dear friends, we are welcome to this program. I don't know how long we will be spending here. I don't know, maybe half an hour, anything, anyhow. We are going to take it like that. I don't know how long. Actually, I don't have the time, but I must come online. Is what I have decided that I must do today. I don't want to fail. Mm? So you are all welcome to this wonderful program this very evening and morning, afternoon, depending on your own location. Anyway, you are watching from, viewing from, seeing from. I welcome you this wonderful time. I welcome you this wonderful evening. You are welcome. I didn't know the my edition how elapsed. I would have used the other studio, but I began, and I scheduled this program some few minutes ago or half an hour ago. So today, quickly, we don't have too much time to waste. Quickly, I greet everyone as you are joining us. You are welcome to this wonderful program. Remember, the goal is Biafra. We don't have any other thing to do but Biafra. Today, we see that even when the Prime Minister, Biafra Republic government in exile, has come out to make it clear that he is not calling for any sit at home other than the normal or usual sit at home that we all know, we all observe Mondays. The what do you call it? The people still went on to observe this Tuesday, that's today being 22nd of October, sit at home. And this is just something extraordinary that even today, people that were not supposed to sit at home, sit at home. And the Umuahia that has not been participating, we saw Umuahia total locked down. Total lockdown. Let's start with Umuahia before we go to what do you call him? Peter Mba also telling you that nobody will come out. If anybody come out, people defied whatever P2B said or may have said or want to say, and they came out. People came out, and the P2B is now nowhere to be seen. So I want us to understand that this Biafra now is at a place called do I say autopilot again? Yeah, we are now at a place called autopilot because the people have taken it all by themselves. The people are doing it by themselves, for themselves. Listen to
the Afia Morning Show. We do have a lot coming your way on today's show, but before we get into all of it, let's go on a quick trip around the region looking at how Umuahia in Abia State seemingly turned to a ghost town yesterday, and I'm not sure if much has changed there. We also received a similar report from Abia State. Activity is halted in the city as people deserted the streets out of fear, complying with the sit-at-home order issued by non-state actors believed to be members of the indigenous people of Biafra, though IPOB has since distanced itself from this particular sit-at-home, saying that this is, of course, sponsored by faceless groups. Let's take a look at this report by Emmanuel Wazwe, Afia TV Bureau Chief in the States.
It's Monday morning on the ever-busy Aba Road, Umuahia. The road, however, is a shadow of its old self. No thanks to yet another sit-at-home order, ironically not by the government, but by non-state actors. Human and vehicular movements are to their barest minimum. A few who dared to be out of their homes are almost stranded. But none could face the camera. Security personnel were on duty. But not even government offices were convinced of their ability to protect as this one remains shut during work hours. The inner streets appear to be happy being left alone. Late afternoon, the situation remained the same, with just 1 or 2 persons on the entire stretch. But nature knows no terror. Perhaps the rains came to wash away the fear that beckons tomorrow. In Umuahia, Emmanuel Wazwe reporting.
A proper comedian. That the rain came to wash away the fear. Fantastic report there. I was still going to talk about this conflicting reports.
Yeah. Okay, now he said it's a conflicting report in Enugu. No need of them giving us the conflicting report in Enugu. We are going to be bringing the Enugu report to you, and you will see it yourself right here in this screen or on the screen. I am bringing Enugu report. I want us to know that what is happening today is no longer that thing that people will come out and talk the way they want at this. This is just a sign that the people of Biafra have taken it upon themselves to restore their land. I don't know who called for this sit at home even. Just for the fact that Biafra is involved in the mentioned advert or jingle, because I listened to that jingle as well yesterday. He said that the Biafran army are launching their new armor tanks. Therefore, Biafra army and the Biafra government have declared sit at home for 2 days, which is not true. But people hearing that this is Biafra, they want to sit at home. Everybody is tired of anything Nigeria. And the ugliest part of it is that the security personnel that will tell you, we are going to protect you, they will not come out. Soludo that will tell you, come out. You know, they're not already friend. I get protected. Soludo will not come out. Army, police are not coming out. So when you come out, you are on your own self, by your own self, for your own self. A place when police fail to, when security operatives fail to protect the people of the land, they can't even protect themselves. Rather, these are the people that are anyway, those are not where we're going today. I want you to see that Enugu residents defied Peter Mba's order. This is not the first time, this is not the second time Peter Mba is calling people to come out. Nothing that happened. Even you remember when he sent police to buy people because they refused to come out. They refused to come out. P2B called them, come out, I have your back. They say, no, we are not coming out. Is it your problem? This is our business. P2B tried to force them the same way we see Soludo forcing them. But now, people in Anambra observe sit at home. People in Enugu observe sit at home to the point that even the sit at home that the government of Biafra in exile did not call, they observe it to the fullest. Peter Mba, how far now? Peter Mba, how far? Anyway, let us not waste too much time on this. We will not waste too much time on them. We will continue to do what we know how to do. Now, coming to our Gowon. Coming to Gowon, we will talk about Gowon because our PM said something yesterday and the news carried it immediately. We will start with that. What did the news say about our Prime Minister? What did the news say? Let's quickly go on and start with that. We are starting with what news said about our Prime Minister. The news said the Biafra agitator Ekpa tackles Tinubu Peter Obi over tribute to Gowon. And we also saw Kenneth Okonkwo coming out to tell you whatever he want to tell you because it is Biafra. I've listened to that video and I have been wondering what is wrong with this person called Kenneth Okonkwo. Is Kenneth Okonkwo normal? Is Kenneth Okonkwo okay? Or Kenneth Okonkwo or can be in bondage? Anyway, let's go through this news quickly and then we see other videos. So the news said Biafra agitator Ekpa Simon tackles Tinubu over tribute to Gowon. Now, I want you to know one thing. This Gowon we are talking about masterminded with his people, with Obasanjo and co. T.Y. Danjuma, Obasanjo, Babangida, Buhari, led by Gowon, lead or brought about over 6 million Biafrans dead, children and the women, minus those. We are not counting those that died in the war front, because we are talking about those that were those that died due to Holocaust, genocide, in the genocidal war. Now, Gowon have never owed up and said, I am sorry, this is what we should have done. Gowon is bent that he destroyed those Biafrans because he want to keep Nigeria one. Till today that we are here, Gowon is still telling you, if you give him another chance, he will do it again and again just to keep Nigeria one. That is history. If you give Gowon another chance to do something worse than what he did in 1967 to 70, Gowon will do it again. There is no two ways about it, because he is till now unrepentantly crying that he wants one Nigeria. Even if this one Nigeria means to wipe away the whole rest of Biafran, it doesn't matter. He just wants a one Nigeria. He knows what he meant by one Nigeria. He knows why he wants one Nigeria that is lie. He knows why he is crying for one Nigeria that he himself destroyed when there was an opportunity to make a country called Nigeria. When there was a reason, when there was a solution to build a place called Nigeria, Gowon destroyed it. The moment Gowon turned down the Aburi Accord and trashed that paper, till today, Gowon has never stepped up to say, this is the mistake I made. That was the moment Gowon destroyed Nigeria. In fact, Gowon is the person that destroyed the country called Nigeria. Gowon himself is the reason why there is no country in Nigeria, because Ojukwu tried very hard to build Nigeria, but Gowon destroyed it. So today what do we have? We have the same person that destroyed it coming to force you into existing with something that is empty, into existing in emptiness to achieve what he called one Nigeria. Let's quickly go to our Prime Minister. Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa has tackled President Bola Tinubu Ahmed and the P2B, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, for paying tribute to former Nigeria head of state Yakubu Gowon on his 90th birthday anniversary. Ekpa expressed a divergent view in statement at the weekend on his official X handle. His comment comes in reaction to Tinubu and the Obi's birthday tribute to Gowon on Saturday. Tinubu in his tribute noted that the former military head of state a lot for Nigeria, did a lot, former military head of state did a lot for Nigeria, served the country maliciously. How maliciously. Similarly, Obi in his tribute to Gowon said, your life of service. I hope you are seeing what I'm reading. Hold on, let me put it here. Obi said, in his tribute to Gowon, your life of service to our great nation, Nigeria, stand as one of sacrifice, leadership, and the unity. However, Ekpa described the tribute as a disgrace, saying many Biafrans died due to Gowon's pursuit of Nigeria during the famous Nigerian Civil War from 1967 to 1970. According to Ekpa, if Nigeria was good, Gowon would have remained in the country instead of staying in the United States or United Kingdom. Ekpa added, in response to P2B's tribute, Nigeria will happen to you and it will not be long. Just as you are proudly confessing it, those following you will also talk like they usually talk when Nigeria happens to others. Recall that P2B came under fire by his supporters after his tribute to Gowon. Nigeria will be your portion. If you have chosen Nigeria, that will be your portion. No two ways about it. No two ways about it. We must get this straight. So what are we saying? Are we saying that these people don't know what is his name? Gowon did? You are calling him architect of peace. Till today, Gowon said he caught you. You know, many of us don't even know why the idea or the reason Imo State, Anambra State, this one came, just to cut you into pieces so you forget your identity. Today we have our people in Benue, we have Igbo in Kogi, we have Igbo in Jigawa, we have Igbo in Plateau, we have Igbo everywhere, nationalizing there. They cut you in pieces to make sure you do not come together, because they are scared that when you come together, you will ask for your freedom again. I would like let us listen to this. Listen to this.
As Secretary General of the Commonwealth, he knows what democratic elections are. He has witnessed them, supervised them, and discussed them with famous world leaders. He knows what genocide is when it is being perpetrated, and knows that Nigeria is committing genocide against the people of Eastern Region Biafra, even as we speak. Surely he knows that. Emeka Anyoku is an Igbo man who knows that Nigeria is committing genocide on Ndi Igbo as we speak. Yet, he, on October 9, 2009, went to Enugu and started preaching the gospel of one Nigeria to Igbo youths at their annual summit in Enugu. This man knows that Nigeria has destroyed Igbo youth. He knows that Nigeria, using military decrees, seized all our ancestral land, seized the petroleum and gas in our ancestral land, and took over by force all the waterways in our ancestral land. He knows that Nigeria's Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchs and the Sokoto Caliphate have stolen billions of dollars of money belonging to oil-bearing communities in our homeland, while leaving our youth poverty-stricken, jobless, and hungry. He knows that Igbo youth is being systematically and comprehensively destroyed by Nigeria, and that when you destroy the youth, you destroy the generations coming after them. He knows that. He knows that there is no democracy in Nigeria, and that there will never be democracy in Nigeria, because the House of Fulani Yoruba have been practicing a form of government called dictatorship for thousands of years and will never move away from feudalistic dictatorship. He knows that. He knows that nothing will ever change in Nigeria and that things have kept getting worse for our people year after year. He knows that. Yet, he is preaching to Igbo youth to embrace one Nigeria and to go out and develop one Nigeria. He must be insane. On October 12, 2009, Ndi Igbo and their friends gathered at the University of South Florida to listen to survivors of Asaba massacre of October 7, 1967, narrate how Nigerian savages slaughtered more than 700 innocent men who had come to welcome them to their town with their traditional dance. The hall was packed. Men and women, they listened and cried like children as speaker after speaker told their stories of how they survived the murder and mayhem perpetrated by Nigerian soldiers under the command of General Murtala Mohammed and Colonel Ibrahim Taiwo, under the overall directive of General Yakubu Gowon. Philip Asiodu, a native of Asaba, was there. He got up and told the grieving men and women that he has no bitterness against the Nigerians, despite the fact that his brother, Sidney Asiodu, a promising Olympic athlete, was one of those slaughtered by the Nigerian vandals that day. Many of those in the hall were shocked and bewildered. They realized that they did not really know this man called Philip Asiodu. Philip Asiodu was one of the permanent secretaries in Lagos that advised Gowon to refuse to implement the Aburi Agreement he and others made with Ojukwu at Aburi, Ghana. If Gowon had implemented that agreement, there would never have been a Biafra-Nigeria war, and the Asaba massacre would never have happened. When Philip Asiodu was informed in Lagos that Murtala Mohammed had murdered his innocent brother and hundreds of other prominent citizens of Asaba in cold blood, what did he do? Did he ask why? No. Did he protest? No. Did he quit his job in protest? No. Did he try to avenge his brother's death? No. So, what did he do? He just went on sitting in his cozy office in Lagos and being Yakubu Gowon's permanent secretary. In 1969, Yakubu Gowon and his House of Fulani Yoruba oligarchs issued a military decree confiscating the petroleum and gas in the ancestral land belonging to Igbo, Ibibio, Efik, Ijo, Ishekiri, Ishan, Isoko, and Urobo communities in the Eastern region. What did Philip Asiodu, who was permanent secretary in the Ministry of Industry then, do? What did he say to Gowon? Nothing. He just went on making more and more money with the blood of his brother and that of his relatives. The House of Fulani Yoruba oligarchs and the Sokoto Caliphate rewarded him with more posts. He became permanent secretary, Ministry of Mines and Power, chairman, Nigerian National Oil Corporation, chairman, NEPA, permanent secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, chairman, MedLife Limited, chairman, Crop Steel Engineering, chairman, Smith Klein, chairman, West Africa Mills, chairman, STI Nigeria Limited, chairman, Beacham Nigeria, chairman, EcoBank Transnational Limited. And in 1999, President Olusegun Obasanjo made him his economic advisor, his reward for helping to derail Ekweme's chance at the presidency. Philip Asiodu didn't even cry for his blood brother. So, how do you expect him to have bitterness for the murder of 700 men, the cream of Asaba community? Don't even talk about the Igbo. It is an insult to this man who is a profile in courage, bravery, and integrity. This is why he told his fellow Igbo gathered in Florida to go out and develop Nigeria so she will become the vanguard for African progress, whatever that means. He is insane. These two are prominent examples But there are thousands of our political leaders and elders who are doing exactly the same thing, telling our people to continue to drink the poison of one Nigeria. Edwin Clark invited Tom Polo to his house to celebrate amnesty. Edwin Clark has not told our people what he was celebrating. Was he celebrating the return of the ancestral land, mineral resources and water resources of the Ijo, which the Hausa Fulani Yoruba confiscated in 1969, 1979, and 1998 edicts? Was he celebrating the return of trillions of dollars stolen from his people by the Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchs? Was he celebrating because thousands of innocent Ijo people mindlessly slaughtered by the Hausa Fulani Yoruba suddenly rose from the dead? What was he celebrating while preaching one Nigeria to Ijo youths? Anthony Aneni, Alex Ekweme, Vincent Obulafo, and their collaborators went to Anambra State and behind closed doors selected Chukwuma Soludo as the gubernatorial candidate of the PDP for Anambra when they were supposed to hold the primary election to select a candidate. They know that for thousands of years, the Igbo have practiced representative democracy and have perfected the art of elections so much that democratic election is the mode of choosing a leader in every segment of Igbo society. They have stayed too long in the garbage dump called Nigeria and now smell like garbage and have become indistinguishable from the garbage itself. Emmanuel Iwanyanwu was in Enugu telling Igbo youths to plunge into one Nigeria, that is the only savior. He is simply insane. Major General G.C. Iweze, who commanded Nigerian forces in Liberia, was lamenting his premature retirement, saying that he was retired because he is Igbo. Then he remembered that he had helped Nigeria fight Biafra and wondered why the caliphate is throwing him in the garbage dump now. Hey, they used you, they abused you, and they threw you in the garbage. Get used to it. He is still preaching one Nigeria to our youths. Major General Ike Nwachukwu, Rear Admiral Mike Ahigbe, Admiral Augustus Aikomo, Major General Godwin Abe, Tayo Abata, Major General Obomudia, and hundreds of them all over Eastern region, who have been used like toilet paper by the Hausa Fulani Yoruba oligarchs, are still preaching one Nigeria to our youths. If it is not insanity, please tell us what it is. We remind our youths once again that these people and all the others like them are the reason you are suffering. They are the reason you have been in bondage. They are the reason the House of Fulani Yoruba oligarchs and the Sokoto Caliphate are treating you like slaves. They are the reason the world is not listening to your cries for freedom, justice, self-determination, and independence. These people who are preaching one Nigeria to you and to world leaders are your worst enemies. They care only about the money Nigerian savages give them. They don't care whether all of you die. They are worse than slave traders. They have no conscience. They have no sympathy. They have no remorse. Unless you do something very drastic about these people, you and your families will remain perpetual slaves to the House of Fulani Yoruba oligarchs and the Sokoto.
Sometimes it's good to listen to this kind of video without commenting. Now we are going to be listening to what what is his name, Kenneth Okonkwo also said today. We will listen to Kenneth Okonkwo as he said his own bit, as he talk his own. We go listen to him as well. But I just want us to understand that from that video we watch, I'm not going to analyze it because I don't have that much time. But if you go back, you can rewind it on and on and on. You can go to our Prime Minister's handle, you will see it there. That's where I got it. You can go on and on and on. Everything in that video is what I see as undiluted 100% truth. Undiluted 100% truth. But our people are not waking up to the reality. Till now, people are still believing, like Kenneth Okonkwo now you're going to listen to. He knows the truth. From Kenneth Okonkwo, he told you that Ojukwu said that there is no need of going to war again. But if Nigeria will threaten again, we will go back to war. Today, what more do you need to see? What form of threat more do you need to see? A threat that is worse than reintegrating the people you call repentant Boko Haram into your system, reintegrating terrorists into your system, employing them, giving them opportunities to become president and ministers and army officers, controlling your army. What more threat did you want to see? You want to see a threat that is greater than having Air Force checkpoint in your lands. Your people are being guarded. You are being forced to defend yourself. Ever since 1942, we have been defending ourselves. We defend ourselves from the north, from the east, from the west. Everywhere we go is about defending ourselves. We try to live outside the country called Nigeria. We go there defending ourselves because of what we have met, because of what they have turned us to be. They have made us people that cannot stand for themselves. But we refused to be the people they want us to be. Kenneth Okonkwo here knows that Nigeria has no road, no way in, no way out. Nigeria is like this bottle that is just closed and can never be opened unless you force this bottle to be broken into pieces before you get this water inside here free. People are trapped into the country you call Nigeria because this Nigeria is like something that has a way in, but you cannot come back. You cannot go out. Once you move in, you are trapped for all your life. So the only way out is to separate yourself, to liberate yourself, to emancipate yourself. If it means tearing it down, tear it down and get free. You need the fresh air. Kenneth Okonkwo is still telling you that Gowon has done this, we have to move on. Are you going to continue moving on with people that don't need you? Ask Kenneth Okonkwo, how many times have you reintegrated the people that are criminals? Just common criminals, common kidnappers, common pickpocket, common watchers, people that are involved in watchers, people that are involved in criminals, robbing without guns, without arms. Have you reintegrated them into the... We are not even talking of them. Have you given jobs to these graduates that don't get jobs, that are being frustrated outside the country to go and die in the border, to die in desert, to die in Mediterranean Sea, to die in Morocco, to die in Russia, Morocco, in Libya, and every African country our people are being murdered there. And Kenneth Okonkwo is telling you that it's time to leave the past and move on. It's not about leaving the past to move on. It's because the past, there is no past. Because the same thing that has been happening has been doubled times 20, not times 10. Excuse me. The same thing, of course, I talk too much. The same thing that has been happening has not ceased. Let's listen to him.
People towards a united country. Good to have you again on Arise News. Thanks for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thanks the viewers. joining us.
So let's start, with your thoughts on the comments made by General Yakubu Gowon that the Nigerian Civil War was fought to keep the country together and that it was not really about defeating any part of the country. What do you make about this? What do you make over this?
Well, first of all, we must understand that war in itself is a display of anarchy. When you talk about war, that is lawlessness at its peak. So when you say you are fighting war to keep Nigeria one, no. You fought the war as a manifestation of your incompetence in the management of the crisis that was then part of Nigerian history. And let me explain what I mean. Before independence, the colonial power, Britain, they kind of brainwashed the Nigerian people to maintain their ethnic cleavages. And they needed to make Nigerians live in that disunity so that they could continue their colonization against Nigeria. So they made the North, for instance, to believe that being educationally disadvantaged, they should not rush into independence because of the likelihood that they will be dominated by the more advanced southern Nigeria. And the North bought into that. And that was why we were delayed from 1954 to 1960. But the actual thing is that Britain just wanted more time to dominate Nigeria. So after independence, that mindset that the South is likely to dominate them remained. And the North was always at every slightest chance, reminding the South that we did not intend to be one country with you because we are suspecting your domination. But the 1966 military coup, pure military coup, has nothing to do with ethnicity or anything, even though people who organized it were predominantly from one ethnic group. But that reinforced the belief by the North that these people, we said it, they want to dominate us. And then they carried out a revenge coup in 1966 July, which was meant actually to separate from Nigeria, not to keep Nigeria one. But the Britain also reminded them that the resources are in the East. So if you leave Nigeria, we are going to support the East. So you better run now that you have acquired power to maintain Nigeria as one. And that made them to have a rethink. And by that time, a lot of Igbos, for instance, have been killed during the pogrom, during the massacre. So there was an entrenched suspicion between the ethnic groups. And this led them to go to Aburi for a conference, and they reached agreement. And it was still Gowon who came back and reneged on the agreement, which inevitably led to the bitter war. And after the war, Gowon declared again, no victor, no vanquished, and promised to reconcile, rehabilitate, and reconstruct the Southeast, which he failed again to do. So all the available opportunities for him to make Nigeria one and consolidate that unity, he was not able to do. But let us make one point clear, that after a while, when he himself was thrown away by some of those his colleagues, that was when maybe he recognized that what happened in 1966 was a military coup and not any ethnic coup, because he himself was thrown away by the same military people. I wonder which terminology we use to describe the ones who threw him away. But one thing is clear. After that, it looks as if he went into theology, had a rebirth, and he came back and genuinely went through our Southeast apologizing and asking for forgiveness for his role in the civil.
Are you listening to this, Kenneth Okonkwo? I don't know when and the where Gowon went about apologizing for his role in the Civil War. By the way, Gowon is not going to be apologizing for the role. Gowon should be, nobody even need him to apologize. Let Gowon show us or tell us why he come to Biafra land to fight us, to kill us, to carry out the genocide against our people. If you wanted to fight a war, when people continue to call this a civil war, people like Kenneth Okonkwo, I wonder what they mean by civil war. The video we played yesterday, I showed you video. I like, if you dey follow my program, you will find out that I like following up. The video we played yesterday showed you that the Biafrans were not even prepared for war. Sorry about that. Biafrans were busy celebrating their life. Gowon came into Biafra land with war. Then Ojukwu and the Biafran soldiers and those that accept to defend their land decided to defend themselves from, you came shooting people, just the same way Nigeria is doing today in Biafra land. That was the exact thing that happened. Ojukwu never went to war. Gowon brought the war and Ojukwu have to defend the land. And today, you see Kenneth Okonkwo here telling you that Gowon went to theology school and came out and went all over Biafra land and started apologizing. Show me a place that Gowon apologized. Is it not the same Gowon that told this year? Listen, Gowon is an unrepentant person that can never repent. When you look at his face, you see demonic face. You see a demonic incarnate that is unremorseful, unrepentant. Gowon maintained and they celebrate what happened to our people. Gowon told Tinubu this year, never mind what Nigerians are doing. They will always criticize you. Gowon made mention and said to Tinubu this year, February, I know that is how they, he said to Tinubu, that was how they criticized me, that I was too slow in crushing Biafran people. But without minding their criticisms, I still went on and crushed Biafra. So when you hear them tell you that Biafra died and they buried Biafra, you understand. Till today, he have not opened his mouth to say it. Biafrans sorry for what has happened. He said he went. Has he gone to Asaba to beg? What about the one that happened to Asaba where they're fighting war in Asaba? The one Asaba massacre or Asaba genocide was after they claimed that the war is over. You gather people, you murder them after forcing them to dig their own grave. We continue.
Civil war. And we know that though the Southeast has been marginalized and ill-treated in that war, which was not caused by them, we know that Gowon has tried to make certain types of penance.
Now, I want you to listen to when you are listening to Kenneth Okonkwo, listen, the question I am asking myself is, you know that Nigeria is ended. You know that Nigeria is rotten. Nigeria cannot be amended. Why are you still fighting for Nigeria to stand? Something you know is not existing. Why are you calling for it to exist? Something you know you cannot build. Why are you trying to deceive people into building it? Continue.
We should forgive each other because hostilities need not last forever. So I can submit respectfully that ethnic chauvinism, the youthful exuberance of the military young chaps that took over government, who were actually very impressionable at that age, their inability to manage the crisis contributed in the disunity that resulted in the civil war. We must learn to forget and to forgive so that we will move ahead as one united Nigeria. I remember what Ojukwu said when he came back from exile. He said, We had fought one civil war. We don't need to fight another one. That he is going to go to war to fight if Nigeria is ever threatened again. And I stand by that. Nigeria being the hope of the black man. Nigeria being the hope of Africa. Nigeria being blessed, and in our enlightened self-interest, the capabilities and blessings of Nigeria will be better harnessed if we come together, live together under one united Nigeria. Nigeria based on equity, unity, peace, and justice. Nigeria will achieve its aims. I support the opinion that we should move ahead now as one united Nigeria, and I'm willing to fight if Nigeria is threatened. Let me point out that presently in Nigeria, what is causing disunity is no longer ethnic chauvinism and religious fanaticism. It is now the incompetence and corruption of the leaders of Nigeria.
If you come together, ask Kenneth Okonkwo, is it coming together with Boko Haram terrorists, ISWAP, ISIS, coming together with who? Coming together with infiltrated government, coming together with people that are infiltrated by terrorists, coming together with police that has been infiltrated with Boko Haram, ISWAP, and ISIS, coming together with Hijba police, Islamic police, coming together with the army, Islamic army, coming together with Islamic system, coming together, being finalized, being Islamized. Listen, I want you to ask this man, no. I don't know. Jason, I don't know. Kenneth Okonkwo till now is still fighting to juggle out his own money the same way P2B is doing. Why he's criticizing P2B is because he has seen that P2B is not somebody you can get anything from. P2B is a criminal as well. After duping Anambra of their wealth, all politicians are criminals. That's why you see a politician that tell you openly, shamelessly, that they earn 14 million naira per month, and it's a little that it must be increased by another 10% or 20%. 14 million naira we pay normal minimum wage about 100,000 people over. So Kenneth Okonkwo coming together to build Nigeria. With who are you coming together to build this Nigeria? This is what I don't understand. Are you coming together with the Abu Shakal and all the leaders of Boko Haram and them, all of them, to do what? To build Nigeria. You're coming together with the people that are calling terrorists to repent and become president. People, this guy there, I think that living in bondage is still they believe saying they're in bondage.
Have inflicted hunger, hardship, degradation, deprivation on the citizens, making them too poor. And when you're poor, even to adhere to theology is very difficult, because there's no reception to theology when a man is hungry. An angry man is a hungry man. A hungry man is an angry man, and is easily irritated no matter what. So the threats to our unity today is poverty, which is orchestrated by the incompetence and corruption of the ruling class. World Bank report just gave a report that more than 129 million Nigerians are poor. And fuel price is now 1,200 naira per liter, unsustainable. And naira has been depreciated to the point that you have 1,700 and something naira per dollar. And you can see electricity. In 1 week, we have celebrated more than 3 national grid collapse. And some people are still pretending that they are the leaders of Nigeria. No, they are leaders of darkness, not leaders of light. And they are now the greatest source of our disunity. And let me point out, free and fair election is the only solution to our disunity now. Because if we have the ability to choose our leaders in a free, fair, credible, verifiable, periodic election, then we will say that our will be imposed on the leadership of Nigeria, and they will give us the dividends of democracy. Anything short of that is going to threaten the existence of this country, not because of ethnic chauvinism or religious fanaticism, but because you cannot sustain a diverse people living together in abject poverty.
Mr. Okonkwo, permit me to come in on this point. And I like your oratory prowess when articulating what Nigeria should be as a unified entity. But if that is the case, why is it that Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, someone you know very well, is being almost forced to explain his congratulatory message to General Gowon? Because the likes of Simon Ekpa and several others are saying because he's desperate for power, he's beginning to cower. Some are saying that he's desperate to become president, so he's now going soft and he's trying to belong. Hence, he's doing what he's doing, and he's trying to explain the reason why. That's to show that probably we do not see ourselves as one.
Well, let me say that all the protests, all the agitations you're seeing Nigerian over, like I said, they are results of manifestation of marginalization, manifestation of injustice, manifestation of poverty. And it is everywhere in Nigeria. You just have the Yoruba nation agitators who submitted letter to the Prime Minister of Britain that they want a separate country. You can see that Boko Haram is
route. What I want to find out from you is why is Mr. Obi's statement of congratulations to General Gowon hitting up the polity is the big question if we see ourselves as one Nigeria?
Well, you should be prepared to ask Obi that when you see him. I've always said that it is good for a leader to always think before he talks. In other words, before you make a statement, it must be a statement you have thought through, and you should be able to stand by it. You should not be, a fair weather kind of leader that when they push you this side, you will explain. When they push you this side, you will explain. You should be able to articulate your view at any point and stand by it. However, like I said, no human being is infallible. He does not need to explain if he is sure what he's saying, that he believes in it. But if he needed to explain and he explained, then you should hold him responsible for his own actions and for his own words. Let me tell you something. I believe in unity of Nigeria. I believe General Gowon made a whole lot of mistakes because he himself prevaricated on a lot of things that would have prevented the war, even when they were by his own initiation. And so, when you say Peter Obi made a statement and then he's clarifying, there's nothing wrong in clarification. However, there is a need to always be sensitive and then be sure of the statement you want to make so that you don't begin to want to pander on all sides. I've always said it is good to stand on one side and then whatever consequences it is, then you take it. I don't have anything against anybody saying anything. It's a free word, freedom of expression, but you should be able to stand by your word. I don't think it has anything to do with the unity of Nigeria, because what Nigerians are looking out for now, like I said, is competent leaders of capacity. So if he expressed his opinion and withdrew it or modified it, that is his due, and he's entitled to it.
Now, Mr. Okonkwo, you said earlier, that the factors dividing Nigeria is not ethnic or religious affiliated, but you said corruption and bad leadership. Yep. However, some analysts, believe politicians usually use the divide and rule tactic. They use ethnicity, they use religion, to divide Nigerians in order to win election, like we witnessed in 2023. So how can Nigerians, as a people, how can the electorate rise above this very common gimmick?
Very good. Now, let me first of all agree with you that part of the incompetence of these leaders is having no policies to use to convince the people. They resort to such primordial sentiments. And that's why I'm saying that it is no longer part of our problem. Why am I saying that? The present president threw up all the ethnic cards, a Miloko, and I don't know how to speak all this, so let me not speak the one that will nail me here. But I always hear of Yoruba Ronu, I don't even know what it means. However, after doing all those things, he lost his state. After saying Muslim ticket, he did not even impress anybody. He still had the least votes as in relative to the opposition. So they exploit that tendency, but Nigerians have outgrown that. They win by rigging. They win by electoral violence, manipulation, and corruption. They don't win anymore by ethnic sentiments and religious fanaticism. That's what I'm saying. That the problem we have now is that their corruption of not being able to organize free and fair election, abuse of public power for private gain. It is no longer ethnic. I mean, you can't go to the north and tell a northerner now that you're a Muslim and he should vote for you because you're a Muslim. After what he is suffering now under a Muslim ticket, you can't go to anybody in the south, in the southwest, and say, vote for me because I'm from southwest. That is where the Ebing power came. So I agree with you that some of these leaders, because they don't have anything, any policy to show to the people, they try to exploit such primordial sentiments. But they are fading away, even as these incompetent and corrupt leaders are fading away out of the hemisphere of Nigeria. Nigerians must rise in the interest of a united Nigeria, for the sake of the black man, for the sake of Africa, and for the sake of all of us, knowing that our diversity is our strength, knowing that united we stand, knowing that we will achieve economy of scale if we are together. Let me give you an example. If this country is divided into 6, what it means is that each of those 6 must have their own army, air force, navy, police, differently, meaning it will cost us 6 times to govern Nigeria what is costing us now once. Do you think the British, they are not wise when they amalgamated the South and the North? They did not tell us that the reason is so that they will achieve lesser cost of governance. And it has nothing to do with trying to make us to live together. We should take advantage of that. Take advantage of economy of scale. Take advantage that when we live together under rule of law, there is no challenge we will not overcome. We are building a more progressive and perfect union as we go on. It is a process. It's not an incident. Building a more perfect union. Even United States, they are still progressing in building their union. So whatever challenges we have, every Nigerian should know that it's surmountable and should not always be thinking about dividing Nigeria and separating Nigeria. We are a united nation, indissoluble and indissolvable under God. And we should move on in that capacity.
Do some Igbos share this sentiment will be the big question. Because for those who went through the war and those who were told about the war, maybe the Generation X might not be able to relate. But when you talk to every Igbo trader in Nigeria, in Lagos, for example, and you talk to probably upwardly mobile Igbo men in their 50s, their 60s, they do not share the sentiment because hence we have people that are sympathetic to the causes of Nnamdi Kanu, apologies for the likes of Simon Ekpa. They still have a lot of cult following. Talk to us about this because when you speak like this, you seem to almost ignore the fact that when you look to your left, you look to your right, there are people that still believe that they have been wronged and that one day, they will still go to utopia.
Good. Now, first of all, I am a Nigerian from Igbo extraction, and I'm very proud of that. You just said we are traders. Yes, we are traders and we are travelers. And so always there will have to be a preference between, for a larger space for anybody who by nature and nurture is a traveler and is a trader. And so, in our enlightened interest, I know it as a fact that we will prefer a larger space because our nature demands that. Our nurture demands that. In Igbo land, there is a proverb. "Akwụrụ etu ebe ekiri mmọnwụ." And again, in Igbo land, there is a proverb that onye ije ka onye isi awọ akụkọ. And again, so these are the things that will make an Igbo man to travel out of his comfort zone, no matter how comfortable he is. And having that nature, I am telling you, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe preferred a united Nigeria. Ojukwu preferred a united Nigeria. Kenneth Okonkwo preferred a united Nigeria. Because I know, as a matter of fact, that as a trader and as a traveler, by nature, it will be better for us as Ndi Igbo. Ndi Igbo are agents of development, and they go about carrying development to anywhere they go to. I recall what Buba Mawa said when we were in a presidential campaign. Buma Mawa stood on a pulpit and said the only true Nigerians who believe in Nigeria, they are Ndi Igbo, because everywhere you will see them. And when you see them, they build their homes there and they live there and develop there. It was quite unfortunate that before 1966, our quest for developing anywhere we stay was manipulated and misconstrued to be a quest for domination. I am happy it's no longer in the minds of Nigerians to think in that pattern and in that formula. Because I remember one old man from Kanu. He said during the June 12th, when the Igbos left north, he couldn't find a part, I think Yakasai, he couldn't find one spare part he needed to repair his car. And he said, let's face it, we need each other. In this country, we need each other, especially in the Igbo, who are the agents of development.
We don't need each other. Egu, Okoko. This is the mistake people are making. You don't need these people. I've been asking the question that nobody answers. What do you need these people for? No. Can I go one Kewezoku? Excuse me. Can he need these people for? One thing you need them for. Nothing. You don't need them for. And listen, let me tell you the truth. The truth is this. All over that Nigeria, both in the south or in the north, we are good in business, right? We import the business, the merchandise we import. We are the clearers. We are the distributors, I mean to say. We are the wholesalers. We are the retailers. Still, we are 80% consumers. And let me tell you, why is it like we are based in Lagos? 70% of Biafran people are based in Lagos simply because Lagos is the easiest place you can go out from and come in from, both water or air. We say this, we know this. Bet me, one airport, one seaport across the Niger, you will not want to go to Lagos to do any business. You will not want to go to Lagos to import, to clear your containers, to fly out from Lagos. Do you know how many people have died on their way to airport from Biafra land? Do you know how many people have come into the Nigeria from Europe, America, Asia? After so many years of living their life, they visited their home. On their way going back, they get trapped in an accident and they never made it alive. On numbers of people. You can't number them. We don't need each other. Make we talk about CP. What thing you need them for? I am asking. Let somebody tell me in the comment. Triple M. What thing you need these people for now? What thing you need them for? What you need them for? What is it that you need them for? We don't need them. All we need is freedom, not them. You need freedom. Period. Period. Freedom. That's the only thing you need. With freedom, everything is settled. People that tell you they don't want a restructuring, people that have told you they don't need development, what do you need them for? They don't need electricity. They don't need pipe-borne water. They don't need computers. Jonathan built automotive schools for them. They destroyed it and said they don't need it. You don't need them. The only thing you need is you need me, I need you. And this is the only way forward. I'll start this program here. Remember, Biafra now we own. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video for me. And bye for now.
So in the process that we are embarking upon, if we are not praying for war, but we are it to come to war, we have to fight. The only thing we are saying is that this time around, we will be more prepared than we were before. That's all we are saying. Nobody's asking for war. To tell me that you're prepared to be a slave in the Philippines, in another person's country, enjoying, let them go and ask the Filipinos what they went through to drive away Imelda Marcos and the husband. Our people need sometimes somebody suggested before that in the new Biafra we will turn every textbook into a local language. If you're in Ibibio, physics will be in Ibibio language, geography in Ibibio, everything is in Ibibio language. If you're from Igbo land, everything will be in Igbo language. Everything. So that our people can reason in their own language. This is why I hated colonialism. If you think in a foreign language, you will not understand the meaning of what you're talking about. That is why at Radio Biafra, we don't present radio and journalism the way it is done everywhere else. Because our people, it will not have the desired impact. Here we give you the news and tell you the meaning and implications of the news we are presenting. How can somebody who claims he or she is educated can go to Philip and say, oh, don't join, you are not born during the war. What if you see what we suffered? Do you know what Churchill went through, what the British people went through under Hitler? Had Hitler launched his infantry into this country, has he commenced the ground assault in Britain, he would have taken over the country. That's what saved the people here. They don't understand history because they are not educated. They were educated in Nigeria, where you go to school for 2 weeks and you're on strike for 8 years. I don't blame them at all. That was where some of us left that zoo to come outside to come and study, so we can understand what studying is all about, so that when we stand up and speak and talk about intelligent people, we know what we are talking about. Anybody who is educated in Nigeria, I'm afraid to say, you are nobody because your brain is not complete. You are not intelligent enough to discuss or to understand what we're talking about. If you have to go to war, you go to war. Sometimes you fight a war not to defend lives and property, but to defend something that money cannot buy. That thing is called honor. It is called honor.